federal government has said that there was no bias in the payment of salaries to members of the Academic Staff Union of Nigeria, ASUU. The government pointed out the members of ASUU were paid their October salary pro rata and not half salary, as reported. A statement by the head of Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, Olajide Oshundun, explained a pro rata was done because they cannot be paid for work that they didn't do. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think the federal government should pay, or do you think their payment could set a precedent of, it's okay, you can go on strike? What are your thoughts on this?
I always knew that at the end of the day, the students will be at the receiving end of this. Because right now, nobody's thinking about the students' well-being. ASUU has stayed off from work for 8 months. Now they want to come back. And the argument is they are going to jam-pack everything they had lost. Students will now begin to do crash courses, take examinations, and so that they can mop up the time lost, everything will be crashed. And I am worried about that because we have always sat here to complain that most times we have half-baked students. It's not about jam-packing the whole thing that they have lost. The time frame. There's a time frame in curriculum that when you teach, there's an expected time for assimilation, for understanding. They're not putting that into consideration. You want to come and rush the whole work so that you can get your pay. I think it's unfair on the students. So I would have said, since all of us are tightening our belts, we want the revitalization funding to be done. We want to be able to have proper infrastructure, lecturers paid properly. Can't we all suffer this and move the session? So don't crash it. Don't put it together. Students need time to assimilate and understand. We have lost this session. We repeat that session so that students will have their ample time. Yeah. So now you're just, because you want to get the money, you're just jam-packing everything. It's annoying to me. I really don't like that.
ASUU and federal government issue, there are no winners. There are no winners. And I hope ASUU has that at the back of their mind. The students certainly are the losers here. Yeah. But, between the federal government and ASUU, they should just, compromise on both sides. No winners, really. Yeah. If federal government is saying their hands are tied, finances are tough and all of that, ASUU, your goal was to establish that, certain things be given to the university educational system in Nigeria. There should be investment and improvement of infrastructure in these schools, and as well as increase in salaries. And all of this have been agreed on. What has passed. Can we leave what we have, lost in the past? And if they are giving you something to even buffer it, can you just take it and let us move on? Because really, if you ask federal government to start this argument, on no work, no pay, they have laws. That's why the National Industrial Court did not back ASUU on this. Strikes will continue to happen if nobody suffers any pain from this, if only the students are suffering. So if strike happens, the students miss out school time, they have more years to spend in university. ASUU loses money, is part of it. Yeah. But you achieve your goal. When people are fighting, the struggle we're seeing in developed countries, everywhere we go to where we see people, the democracy we have today, people died for it. People must be willing to understand that I will make this sacrifice for the greater good. So here's my own. ASUU, you have made an amazing sacrifice. I am happy a lot of children are back in school. Don't water down the huge activity that you have done by being petty with how much back and forth. Stay your ground that all the promises be fulfilled. All the monies they will give for capital investment into the education sector, all of them should come through.
When we are trying to fix, we are solution conscious. Trying to fix a problem. You see, we understand government wants to do carrot and stick, but sometimes where, listen, I'm trying to put palliatives in for ASUU. I'm trying to bring them back to say, we are here for you. When you have a government that is leading, not ruling. But I keep hearing people talk about the rulers. We've passed that level of rulers. We need leaders in government who are saying, okay, 8 months, you're done. Just like you said, October salary, I'll pay you full salary.
It's not even that. It's thinking for the greater good.
Aha, thank
What's
you so
the
much.
Greater good here?
Yes.
Do you want another set of few weeks to negotiate the challenges of half salary? Why don't we, if we say that we want the greater good, we've gotten these children back into, and it's because the government, there's no consequence on the government side. The government has put in consequences for ASUU in that you don't get paid when you don't work. There's a law backing it. The students are suffering. There's no lecture. They spend an extra year. What is the government paying for this? If government gets if they know that I might lose my re-election bid. When you see the American elections, they have midterm. So everybody is working because they know that midterm election, I might lose my seats. When government realizes the direct impact of this, and the students, go and get your PVC. Go and join that queue. Because we have enough people in the university to change the total outlook of elections in this country. Sure. Like, if all the students that have been at home for 8 months decide they want to vote, they can choose our president. So it's important that government sees the repercussion of the strike as well. That way, everybody knows what's at stake.